What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
What is up, everybody? My name is Joe. We are the Garage Gang Podcast. This is Kenny. This is Aaron. We are joined by the one and only one-man-thrill-ride, James Abreu. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great.
What's up,
Thank
James?
you for the introduction. I'm just so outshined by you guys' setup. I'm sitting here in my kitchen. You guys look like $1,000,000 over there. You guys look like stars. Stars. I got the Boston accent.
I noticed
right.
the hat, and I wanted to talk a little shit because we're all Laker fans over here, you know? So,
Yeah. I'm not much of a basketball guy. I don't think I've watched any basketball this year, to be honest with you. But yeah, the Lakers. What happened though? Didn't they got bounced, right?
Injuries really affected everything like it does sometimes. Couldn't really get healthy, especially when,
hey, we caught y'all last year though.
Yeah. I don't know. We got the Super Bowls though. That's what matters. We beat the Rams twice.
God, so you're a Patriots fan too?
The second one, right?
Oh, of course he's a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
Patriots fan? Oh man,
I'm a huge Patriots fan.
We might have to cut this short
I grew
now.
up right near Gillette.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Right over in Foxborough, eh?
I'm a Jaguars fan, and I fucking hate the Patriots. every time we make the playoffs, the fucking Patriots beat us, dude.
Yeah, I
In
guess.
the AFC Championship, they had the Pats beat.
Yeah.
Miles Jack was not down. He should have scored that touchdown. It would have been game. But it is what it is.
Hey, so
That's what happens. They blow the whistle, man. Dead ball. It's like it changes the whole. They shouldn't blow that whistle. They should change that rule.
I know.
Hey,
Trust me, I
Take it to the
know.
house.
I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah, it is a fumble, but now that he's down, it's like, dude, he was gonna go 80 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
The call just
Talk about a fumble,
terrible.
bro. Talk about a fumble. I'm a Raider fan, and I take credit for your dynasty. So,
Hey, I was at that game.
Yeah,
with
oh my God,
dad.
you
I think
were?
I was junior in high school. I'll never
oh
forget
my
it.
God,
Are you shitting me, dude?
I was 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that was at the old Foxborough Stadium, right? And it was such an old, crappy stadium. The last game I ever played there, there was no
Really?
screen, so we had no idea there was controversy
Holy
until we
crap.
got home and turned on ESPN.
Oh, really?
Oh, shit.
Stadium. And we're like, oh, wait a minute, this was like a big deal. He definitely didn't fumble. He definitely fumbled. That was not an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
But we didn't know in the crowd when it was happening live. We thought it was okay. This is under review. There's a chance, but. Not until we got home, we understood that there was going to be controversy. But I was at the Snow Bowl game. I've been so fortunate because I live 10 minutes from the stadium. I've been to like 6 AFC championships. And
Wow.
That's
I'm a
pretty
huge
sweet.
Patriots fan. Bigger Patriots fan than Red Sox fan, even though I'm a baseball guy.
That's cool.
That works.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
myself
so
some
My heart's still
baseball.
with Tommy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but I think you can love them both.
I love I dig the Red Sox. I dig the Red Sox a little bit because especially now that you guys got Verdugo and Kike, that's they're a couple of really good dudes, and obviously they're coming in big for you guys lately.
Yeah.
From what I've
done
seen.
a great job with that team. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see what happens in the
Well,
playoffs. They need Sale back and healthy to have
That's
like,
right.
top
Cora's back
rotation
in
guy.
there, huh? After like a
What's
little Cora's back in there, right?
Yeah, Cora's back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
a
I
little
will
wonder.
say after I was a big Red Sox because I hate the Yankees, so we can.
Yeah,
we can
that's one thing we all agree
that.
on.
Fuck
Yeah.
the Yankees.
Fuck
man.
the Yankees.
But I did like the Red Sox and all that until y'all beat us in the World Series, and then it was like,
But I'm not even mad at that World Series because like they just dominated.
They
us.
dominated
And, I
us,
mean,
I know.
the Astros. It was like they cheated, and it was an epic. It was a World Series of epic proportions. 7 games, and all 7 games were
10
amazing.
innings and
Now the Red Sox, they were just the better team,
yeah.
hands down. And
then we got
you just
Mookie,
got to
baby.
give it.
Yeah. Mookie's a good ball player. I mean, the Red
thank
Sox
you.
that year, they were by far the best team. It was the best team they've ever had and probably their least, I guess, the most anticlimactic championship.
Yeah.
Because it was just like a foregone conclusion that they were going to win.
Yeah.
And like, we're not used to that. Like, I grew up, man, there was a curse of the Bambino.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Was
that's
that,
what I like. When the
100
Red Sox won the World Series, I think I cried with like 4 of my baseball teammates in college. You know what I mean?
was
We
like
watched every game. The Red Sox were never going to win a World Series. Now they've won more than anybody.
It was like
this century,
102 years, I think, or something like that, right?
86.
Yeah,
86.
the
Okay, the Cubs were
100.
102 years. Yeah.
Don't you be
Same
putting
shit.
that evil on them, Ricky
Yeah.
Bobby?
No.
Jeez.
Dude,
Well,
I-
they're both gone, so they're both
Don't
done
you
with
be
that
putting that
curse.
evil on me.
No more curses for anyone.
The
Right?
Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Don't
it's-
you put that on me, Ricky.
Dude, I'm so tired. I'm on the East Coast.
Oh,
Yeah,
This is like
dude.
my bedtime. I'm training. I'm wrestling Enzo at the next show.
Dude, we heard
So,
about
like,
that.
I've been up at like 5 a.m. doing like double, triple sessions.
Hey, congrats on that, by the way.
Like 9 a.m. feels like freaking midnight. 9 p.m. I'm
I know.
exhausted,
Well, trust me.
so.
Hey, I
I'm trying
work.
to stay up for you guys.
All right.
Hey, I
guy.
work at 3 a.m. West Coast time, so I got about 40 minutes until, or like about an hour until like my actual bedtime at 7. So
Nice.
I get up at 1:30 every day. So, but
You'll be
So
go
we're
ahead.
talking a
Start
little
us
bit. Obviously you're Red Sox, you're a Patriots fan, Celtics fan. So that must obviously mean you grew up in Massachusetts. So you grew up in Mansfield, Massachusetts. Talk about growing up over there on the East Coast, because we're a bunch of West Coast boys. We have no idea what it's like. So kind of fill us in
I
about.
would say it's a different speed. I don't know. The Northeast, I want to move to Tampa so bad, but I have a little guy, so I can't really just up and leave. The East Coast, especially the Northeast, Boston and New York, it's kind of like, and I work in, my primary occupation, I've been in sales, so it's like deal with some, high up people. They're not the easiest people to get along.
Yeah.
I don't know, not all the time. You know what I mean? There's some, I don't know if it's uptight. It's all very hustle. It's very fast paced. It's great, and sometimes, but you can get burnt out too. I like the West Coast. It's like a different speed, nice and relaxed. It's more relaxed. I mean, there's
Everyone's
still hustle
late.
and bustle, obviously.
Yeah.
But you could definitely tell the difference from somebody. Like, I went out and visited my buddy I played college ball with, who's like a transplant out to Santa Monica. It's just he's a dude. It's a totally different world out here.
Oh yeah.
So compared to Boston, it is, but overall, it's all America, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just like it's always so nice on the coast and on the West Coast over here. Sun and everything. There's just so much to do with the beaches. It's a lot of more mainstream fans than the radical, fanatics in the Northeast.
Yeah.
'Cause,
The crazy
weather's
dude-
shitty and like they live for the sports. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which
But
is
it's
awesome.
even like that. It's even like that in pro wrestling. You can
Yeah.
tell how the different houses are. Like if you watch WrestleMania 12 in Anaheim, the audience doesn't get up
Yeah.
as loud. It's just it's a different feel in California.
Well, you're
versus
lucky
when,
you're in that
It's in
territory.
Madison Square Garden, New York City. It's like a more electric environment, just because the people
Absolutely.
are wired differently. I think,
Right.
but or maybe they're just more hardcore, closer fans. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they've done a lot of gnarlier drugs or something. I don't know.
Could have been that too.
Yeah, we've done plenty. But so speaking of the radical wrestling fans, I mean, you're in that that kind of territory. You're in the
Of course.
WWE territory. Vince McMahon Senior territory. When did your love for wrestling?
When did I got?
Yeah,
it's
let's hear
funny.
about that. The roots.
The roots.
Yeah, let's hear about.
So
that.
I don't like talking about it much because like it's caught up in development stuff. But I did write a motion picture script.
Okay.
And like the first scene in the movie really is like the only thing that's like a true story. It's the day I told my father I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and it was when I was 9 years old and Tatanka lost his undefeated streak to Ludwig Borga on WWF Superstars or Challenge or something. It was on Halloween or the day before Halloween. And I bawled my eyes out. And my father said, if you cry watching that fake shit, I'm going to come down and break the freaking TV with a baseball bat. And I was like, but this is what I want to do when I grow up. So, that's pretty much how I got into it. I was always such a huge fan. Like, I've always been into entertainment, comedy, and, of course, sports. And pro wrestling is, like, the only form of entertainment that's a mix of both the sport and the entertainment. The boxing, like the Muhammad Ali talking trash. Like, I was always into that.
Yeah.
A guy that could talk a lot of trash and then, like, back it up.
Yeah. The promos always sell the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be a high selling, person, whether you're in combat sports, man, you gotta give the people something to watch. You gotta give them a reason to watch you. If you're just Joe Schmo, not saying much, you don't draw them in really. So it's
You got to be the one-man thrill ride.
yeah. That's right.
That's
Woo!
You need to get it. You need to get them emotionally invested.
Right.
So I think that's the key. And when you do that, it's like the moves. Like as a professional wrestler who's been trained and like has wrestled a lot of matches,
Psychology.
the moves and stuff are overrated. When you have the audience emotionally invested, that's when they bite for stuff. That's when you get the big reaction. Or at the end of the match, I guess the old school term is like you get the pop at the end. 1, 2, 3,
Right.
it goes nuts. It's because you got them. It's not about like necessarily the flying off the top rope or doing something crazy. It's them getting invested in a storyline or getting invested in a character. And even though it's predetermined, they want one guy to win and another guy to lose. Yeah. And that's typically the best wrestling. It's all about emotional investment.
Right.
It starts with a promo and all that stuff. So.
And people don't understand that it's like, well, some people don't understand, but like, in wrestling and a lot of sports that, I mean, the boos and the cheers are one of the same. It's the no reaction that makes you doom. Like if people don't give a shit to either boo, it's just if people don't give a shit whether to boo or cheer, so you better come up with another gimmick.
We have a story. We have a story that actually can attest to that emotional investment. So I don't know. You've been on the independent circuit. One of our buddies that we've actually also had on the podcast. I don't know if you know Sledge.
I've heard of Sledge. Yeah, I've heard of Sledge. Yeah,
he's working with Ring,
right, or Jersey.
So he's from California. He's working with Ring of Honor right now.
That's why I thought he was from Jersey. He's from. I've actually done a show with him, I think, before.
Yeah, he's really cool dude. And so he was telling us about this time where, he like actually legitimately like sold like an injury, like. The guy the night before like messed up his arm or something, and then he said like the next day he showed up and his arm was all in a sling. Like people legit thought he wasn't able to go, and so it just really sold. And like when the crowd saw him come out and just beat the shit out of this guy, like it was just he said it was magic.
No, even though everybody knows it's predetermined, I actually have a similar story. Way back like 6 years ago, I wrestled this guy, Brandon Locke, in Chaotic Wrestling, and I had just come back from a legitimate broken ankle. I was wrestling Matt Hardy. I got thrown off the top rope. I got like a hairline fracture in my ankle. And my first match back, I was wrestling him. He was like, how about me like working your injury? I was like, hell yeah. I was like, that's old school. The audience knows I have a hurt ankle. Go after the ankle. And they all bought in, like even though it's fake. And that's the thing with wrestling that I've always found is the most compelling when a storyline or a match or the psychology of a match, the story you tell in the ring, if it's close to reality, people typically buy in. You know what I mean? Like look at Shawn's rivalry with Brett. Like back in '97, they absolutely hated each other in real life, and it like came through the screen. That's why it was so compelling. It was close to reality. It was reality with a little bit of fiction.
It definitely came in on the screen with that Montreal screw job. That was like the boiling point right there. I'll tell you the best at pinpointing injuries that I saw or heard was Double A, was Arn Anderson, man. He'd pinpoint that one part of your body and he would stick to it like the whole match. And people don't sell enough, like they don't sell it or focus on that enough these days. It shows.
Yeah, what I've noticed, so I'm so old, I'm like a dinosaur now, I'm 36. And I got trained like legitimately by Spike Dudley like 12 years ago.
Okay.
Dude, back in the day, it was all about selling. It was like, can you sell as a heel? What's the difference between how you sell as a baby face and how you sell as a heel? Like, that's kind of a lost art. It's like now when I call matches with some of these young kids, I'm like, dude, you got to pump the brakes, man. You know what I mean? It's like the heel, the bad guy thinks that like the heat portion of the match is about getting their moves in versus actually beating the shit out of the good guy and making the audience get, I get sympathy for this guy. Like when you watch Bret Hart get his butt kicked, I thought him and Ricky Steamboat were the two best baby faces at selling. It's like, wow, like when Bret, I remember being a little kid, whenever Bret was getting beat up, you were like, wow, he's really hurt.
Right.
Like that's the talent of pro wrestling, not so much the moves. So I agree with you. It's all about selling.
Yeah, Bret was very good at that. And I mean, he wasn't very good at promos, in my opinion, but he was boring as shit. But I mean, like, he was a technician in the ring, so.
Yeah, he had a good look though too.
Yeah, he did.
Pink and black and the shades. Bret was like my favorite wrestler. Yeah. I think I thought his promo work got a lot better at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. He was a technical wrestler.
Absolutely.
But he's the best there is, the best there was,
the best there will be. Definitely.
God, I love good gimmicks.
So, getting back to kind of growing up, you played ball in high school, you played baseball and football, and you were voted most likely to be famous in high school. How dope was that? That was a cool award. I was voted most accident prone, so it's definitely not the same territory.
No.
But mine was.
That's so funny, and as I've gotten older, I have like a totally different perspective on it. And I remember at the time when I was voted most likely to be famous, I was like kind of upset because they didn't, like, even people in high school didn't understand me. It's like I had this much desire to be famous. It's It's like I wanted to be a professional wrestler for a living.
Yeah, that charisma.
Fame was something that came along with it. Like it wasn't like I want everybody to look at me on social media. Yeah. I'm not like that. I'm actually a kind of a private person. You know what I mean? But like when the camera's on and I'm the one man thrill ride, it's like, yeah, I love that. I'm a narcissist. Who does? You know what I mean? Like, You know, I'm into that stuff. So, but yeah, I never wanted to be famous, but I think that goes to show. I had the championship belt on in the shot. So yeah, I guess they had me pegged.
They know what's up.
So, what positions did you play in baseball and football?
Well, baseball, I was really an outfielder. I played first base a little bit. I'm too short to play first. Once I got to college, my coach looked at me and was like, "Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're an outfielder.
You're not. You got two guys that are 6'3".
Yep.
You're gonna go play left field. Don't turn a single into a triple and hit the ball hard when you're up. You know what I mean? Like, I was really just a hitter that they tried to find a place to hide for me. But football, I was in high school. I was like inside linebacker. It was like called a stinger position. So it was like a floating strong side hybrid, strong safety. Strong side backer.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was actually a quarterback.
Okay.
And all the way up until my junior year of high school, which I ended up focusing on baseball because I had an injury, an arm injury. So I just played fall baseball. And then when I came back for my senior year, I just played, linebacker and stuff, hit the crap out of people on special teams.
Hell yeah.
That's the way to be.
Where I grew up in Mansfield, we had, us and Everett were probably at the time the best two programs in the state. So a lot of good football players came out of where I played.
So you played for
not
a
so much
powerhouse.
baseball, but football, we were a good program.
So Mansfield, is it more like Foxborough? It's more of a suburb, right? Is it
right?
Boston,
Yeah, it's a
so to
suburb.
speak.
It's actually the next town over from Foxborough, where we were used to be when it mattered. We were high school Thanksgiving Day rivals. It was Foxborough, Mansfield. Fist fights at Wendy's.
Kick some ass and get a Frosty after.
Get a Frosty.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sweet. So you attended, after high school, you went to Fitchburg State University. You played ball. You got a degree in political science. Tell us kind of about that experience and what it was like playing ball in college.
Do we want to dive into the political water? It's funny. I grew up from like Republican parents in Massachusetts, which is like unheard of in this state. But I'm not I'm not getting independent. But that was basically my political science. I was like one of the only guys on the right. And my professors were so far to the left, it forced me to be open-minded because I had, I think the professors I had who were liberals were like some of the most open-minded, very intelligent, like salt-of-the-earth guys that were teachers of mine. Like I remember doing like a term paper on Reaganomics. And like, I'm going to fail this. And this Democrat definitely didn't agree with Reaganomics.
Yeah.
And I broke it down and everything. And he ended up giving me like a 97. He was like, dude, very well cited. I disagree with your entire argument, but you know. So like, I basically learned to like listen and be more open-minded, which I think is like really sorely missing today.
Oh my God.
Because back then it was the progressives that were telling people to be open-minded. Now I think the shoe's on the other foot and, with the cancel culture and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the cancel culture, with my gimmick in particular, it's like I feel like I got to be like extra careful, which I don't like. You know what I mean? I don't like thinking about that when I'm like off on the fly doing a promo. Like I want to say what's on my mind.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be trying to censor myself. You
shouldn't have to.
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
That's when you stumble up, and you got to be free flowing. I mean, you got to have that. Ability to be able to say what the hell you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think
to
it's
get
very
your point
important.
across.
So that's basically what I learned about that. I mean, I had a great time at Fitchburg. Played ball there. Remained good friends with guys I played on the team with. So it was good memories, man.
Hell yeah. What's up, man?
So, okay, on down here, I see that you got MVP of your team and all conference. So, is that
twice?
Oh, twice. Holy shit, dude.
No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but yeah.
No, you're not.
So you didn't just play. You were a fucking beast.
Yeah, you were a stud.
I played D3, but yeah.
Who cares? It works.
Who cares?
Yeah, I had a great time, man. Baseball, I mean, I could act like I don't remember my stats, but I remember them to a tape. But yeah, I mean, it's not about that stuff. It's really about
the narcissist, brother.
You know what's funny?
Good.
Like you look back and like I had a really good college career. I just remember my bad games. Like I just remember like we played in the conference semifinals, and I'm up with the bases loaded. It was the biggest at bat of my life, and everybody in the opposing dugout knew I was the guy to get out. They brought on the lefty. I got a first pitch fastball right down the fucking dick, and I skied at the center field. And I'll never forget that at bat, because as I rounded first base, like the entire dugout was like, yeah, fuck you. That's like stuck in my brain. I don't remember hitting like 400, but I just remember like losing. It's like, remember when you got up with the season on the line, when you're the captain and you flew out? Yeah, that's what I remember.
It's those moments.
That's part of my. It's part of my emotional trauma, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, great memories, man. Awesome friends. Wouldn't change it for the world. Maybe go to Bridgewater, which was close from my house. There's another local school, so I could have commuted and saved some money. But I made so many good friends. Like, I have no complaints. Awesome time. Had to play for a great coach. Taught me a lot of valuable life lessons about working hard and showing up on time and being disciplined to translate to the corporate America and definitely to pro wrestling. So had a great time playing ball.
So as a
wish those guys the best of luck. I'd love another alumni game so I could rip their tits and go 2 for 3.
There we go.
Go 2 for 3.
So as a
Hall of Fame,
an older, I guess not older, but you played baseball a little while ago. Do you like the way like Fernando Tatis and Javi Baez and all these guys are coming in with all the flair and talking shit and all that? Because I love that about baseball.
100%.
So I do. My problem with baseball right now is the style of it, man. Like, it's just a different ball game. Like, for instance, like, and again, I played D3, but like my game was, I was basically a prototypical 2-hitter. I hit singles. I didn't strike out. You know what I mean? Like, bunted, move guys over, do what I had to do. Like, that player doesn't exist in Major League Baseball anymore.
Jeff McNeil, baby.
It's like 25 homers, you strike out 160 times in 160 games, you walk a bunch, the ball isn't put in play, guys aren't hustling.
No.
I think it's a bad product.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of it, what you mentioned, like the pimping and stuff, I like that. I like emotion.
Yeah.
I don't care if the next pitch goes at the guy's head. It's like, let the guys police themselves. They're making $20 million. Let them get in a fist fight. Who cares?
Right.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, let it go, man.
I was telling these guys, my favorite play in baseball is when Javi Baez tags somebody on a steal, and he tags him, and he's not even looking. He's pointing to the catcher. As he tags him, he's not even looking at the tag. By far, my favorite play in baseball.
Just
right
freaking
now.
full of swag.
It's such a boss move.
Well, it's
I miss the collisions at the plate. I thought that the play at the plate with the collision was the most exciting play.
Buster
in baseball.
Posey's bitch ass ankles ruined that for everybody.
Was it the catcher for the
it's the Posey
Giants.
rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember the Posey, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, what I've noticed is I'm much more of a doer than a viewer. Like, once I stopped playing baseball in 2008, pretty much, that's when I stopped religiously watching it as a fan. Yeah. Which doesn't make any sense because I grew up and I watched it every day growing up. But the second I stopped playing it, I kind of stopped. And it's the same thing with wrestling. When I'm not wrestling, I never watch pro wrestling. But like now I got a match with Enzo and I'm like on YouTube watching every Enzo match I can find. You know what I mean? Like, when you're in it, it's like you love it. But when you're not, like for me, I'd rather just go out and drink a beer and go on a bowl or
that definitely makes sense. We can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baseball definitely needs to, you know, if they want to be around in 50 years, man, they
Yeah.
gotta. There's a lot of personalities that they have in baseball right now, but MLB needs to do a better job of promoting those personalities to get new blood, you know, watching the game. Because right now they're having the biggest trouble of kids, you know, start playing the game, wanting to play the game at an early age, and not only that, just watching it, you know, watching it because the product is bad. And baseball's just absolutely fucking horrendous.
Let them do steroids again.
Promoting their thing.
Well, they're lucky. That was the only time I liked baseball.
First of all, they're lucky about the steroids because that's what got them back in the mainstream.
But here's the thing, and I agree. I don't care about. I don't want to get into steroids.
Yeah.
I'm taking wrestling seriously again, so it's a taboo world.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
But if you look back at that era, like it wasn't even so much the steroids because the home run, the power numbers were just as high last year. They're juicing the balls now.
Yeah,
right.
So, but at the same time, it just goes to show the game was different back then. Guys didn't strike out as much. You know what I mean? The ball was put in play. Like, to go back to we were talking about the curse of the Bambino and stuff. I don't know if that was recorded or before we went on, but like the 04 Red Sox, if you go back and watch that postseason, it's much more entertaining than if you go back and watch the 2020 or 2019 Major League Baseball.
Was that when they
game
came
was
back
played at a different pace and at a different style?
The Rockies.
That was when they came back 3-1 on the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
That's
3-0.
Oh, it was 3-0. I thought it was 3-1. Okay.
Yes.
The greatest comeback in the history of pro sports until the Patriots did it in a single game.
Yeah.
That's the
Damn,
Sox.
dude. You had to go there, didn't you?
I had to throw that in there.
Oh man,
I watched that live, man. As a Patriots fan, watching that comeback. I know everybody hates the Pats. That was one of the most magical sporting events I've ever seen.
Well, that freaking
solidified Brady is just like
that
man.
catch by Edelman too.
Oh, Edelman, yeah, he played
unbelievable.
Malcolm Mitchell, who's like out of the league, he had like 5 big catches.
If,
I don't know, that was a great game.
If the Hall of Fame was based on just postseason, yeah, Edelman would totally be in the Hall
for
of Fame.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I Welker was the better receiver from the Patriots. He's going to get in, but
You should.
when Edelman was at his peak, he was just as good as Welker, but Welker did it for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had like 100 catches, like literally for 8 years
100
straight.
concussions, too.
And I think Edelman did it for 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Joe.
So we've been talking a little bit about wrestling. So now we do different segments on our podcast. So we're going to kind of take a break from the interview portion. So we're going to do a segment called Power Rankings. And I didn't tell you about this because I wanted to see what your thoughts are kind of on the fly. We're going to rank our top 5 wrestling entrance themes.
Songs or
Okay,
themes.
I like that.
Songs, themes, or just entrances,
Songs, themes,
period.
entrances, whatever you like. So
I got to write this down, dude.
yeah. If you want, you can get like a pen and paper or something. And
So to me, are we going straight theme or are we going entrance?
theme, entrance, whatever your heart desires. I left it kind of open, so because I like it when we all have different answers. We all kind of put our own spin on it.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
cool.
Like, yeah, one of us takes like that, the Power Rankings top 5 entrance songs in their own way. You know what I mean?
So and then Aaron doesn't watch wrestling, so for him, we're gonna what do we think? What type of like wrestler Aaron would be, and what type of entrance music would you want to have as a wrestler?
I mean, my favorite wrestler is The Rock. So
I mean, good one to pick. Him and Bret Hart were my 2 favorites.
so like I'm not gonna lie, if I had to choose like someone that I would want to be like as a wrestler, it'd be him or Stone Cold. Just because I love to just pound a fucking beer before a match and shit. Like I think that's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? So I guess to fit my personality, probably those guys.
So it sounds like you need to shave your head,
Yeah, definitely. Go bald, get super fucking buff, and
get
then
tatted up.
Yeah.
That's been my strategy.
Yeah, right. There we go.
I'm going for I'm coming out with a big promo. I was going to shoot it tonight. I think it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's important because obviously Enzo, if you follow wrestling, is like the best promo in wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm wrestling him. So I got a big promo I got to cut on him.
Is he okay?
And, so I'm debuting like all these new catchphrases.
Fuck
and stuff
yeah,
that have been
dude.
going
That's
on.
awesome. I know Enzo. Is he doing the spiel still? Like the big cast and
so I've been watching so much. Even though it's a work, it's not real. It's almost like a sport. Like I watch film on the guys I'm going to be wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know what the hell we're going to be calling when we get out there, or what we're going to be doing when we get out there.
called chemistry.
And he's basically all business now. He comes out, no entrance music. He's wearing boxing gear. He's trying to show people he can wrestle.
Okay.
And like for anybody who's been professional trained, you can clearly see he knows what he's doing. He's a good wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, but that just wasn't his role at WWE. He was the mouthpiece. So I think he wants to show people stuff on the indies. That's just my guess. I don't know that personally, but I don't blame him if that's where he's coming from. I would love to just have one war. We have a big show at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. It's like, it looks like a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? We draw 4,000 fans. It's where Macho Man made his debut. It's super professional production. It's a real big league production. If I could have like a segment with Enzo, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
But I think he's going in a different direction on the independents. He's just like working man's worker now.
Yeah.
So does it just flow? Like when someone's talking shit to you? Like, 'cause I know some people, they got to like think, or a lot of people afterwards, they're like, fuck, I should have said this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because that's always my biggest problem. If I get in a fight with someone, I'm like, 2 days later, I'm like, damn it, that was the greatest comeback. Does it just flow for you? Because I'm not going to lie, you seem pretty comfortable talking shit and kind of
That's where
doing
I'm
that.
That's where I'm at my best. Is
Yeah.
like in that situation. Like, you're not going to beat me in a war of wars one-on-one. And that was because when I grew up, I just had, I was the smaller, muscle-bound athlete who was kind of a pretty boy, and everybody was always going after me. I was the easy target, fucking pick on Jim. and I had to be smart and quick-witted to like get back and like have a one-liner and be like, "No, you're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
And everyone would like laugh. You know what I mean? So that's how I got used to that. And that's for like an in-ring promo. If I'm in the ring, it's like I like improvising because if I hear somebody say something, if it's not working, I can just like turn to the person who's like says something in the front row and just cut a promo on him live based on what he's wearing, what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, spilling mozzarella sticks all over himself like a slob. Like it writes itself. But like for instance, I'll be cutting a promo on Enzo. Like that's gonna be pre-taped, recorded. I'm going to have an idea of what I'm going to say. It won't be rehearsed or scripted, but I'll have bullet points. All right, I want to hit this point, this point. This is what I'm going home with. This is the business of the match. This is the purpose of the promo. It's much different than going out there for a live segment where you're just like being the bad guy getting heat or getting everybody to boo you before, you know, the match starts.
Yeah.
But that's what I prefer. I prefer it like just off the cuff.
Right. That's the way it should
So against him, are you supposed to be the heel?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, so
Fuck yeah, dude.
I think he's been working both, but I think he's going to be more of a babyface in this one. But we'll see. He's pretty good. So I worked with him 2 summers ago. Him and Cass.
Yeah.
They're both really really good, good workers, and I got along with him great.
That's
I don't know if I
awesome.
should be saying that. I should be working the gimmick and saying he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, fuck Enzo, dude.
Well, I think this will come out the day after you guys
Sunday.
This one
Oh,
should
so
come out
it's
Sunday.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're in the clear.
So I can tell you who's winning now. we actually don't find out until we get
That's.
out.
I was like, that's on you. That's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
you.
All right, so top 5 entrances or themes or whatever you want. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I like at 5. I didn't know we were doing this either, but I have a pretty good idea. You know,
Yeah.
like I like at 5 The Rock, or I'm gonna do both sometimes, or 2 of them. Rock and Nature Boy, Ric Flair. I mean,
Yeah.
The Rock's pop. You smell what The Rock is cooking, and how that that evolved from, you know, right after he was
Nation of Domination.
Nation Domination,
Yeah.
and how like his entrance evolved. Just tweaks here and there. And Nature Boy, obviously, he's been doing it since what, the 70s. I mean, shit. I mean, that's just with the robe and the robes and, you know, the woo, you know, everything.
I wish I could do The Rock's eyebrow. But
Yeah, I know.
You can't do it?
It's so fun, dude.
no.
I could talk. I love that era. That's what was like my, high school for me.
Yeah.
I could talk about that era of wrestling so much. So I'm trying to figure out my entrance versus Enzo because it's going to be filmed
Yeah.
and stuff. And it's almost like an audition. You know what I mean? Because it's a professional production. I'm wrestling a big name. It's a good opportunity for me. And
It's always an audition these days.
so like I'm not on the independents on that level yet, even though I do have a lot of popularity. So this is for me, this match is like the biggest match of my life. Like if I have a great match, he's got 1 million followers. It's gonna be all of Meltzer will probably be writing about it. It's the biggest.
the dirt sheets. Oh my.
Right, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
biggest match I've ever been in from like an internet perspective. And I was thinking about the entrance and what entrance do I want to emulate and stuff. And to me, when you talked about The Rock, this really stuck into me. It was like I liked the entrances, and I remember the specific pay-per-views and stuff. It was like right before they had really like gotten over and become stars. Like you could, as they were their music hit, they get a big reaction. You're like, wow, that was.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that was loud. This is something. Like this guy's something.
Yeah.
And for that, it was The Rock. It was WWF Breakdown '98. It was in I think it was in Montreal.
Yeah.
Watch his entrance. It's a triple threat cage match, and it was his first match as a babyface. He hadn't even formally left the nation yet. He comes out and like he gets that reaction. You're like, this dude is about to become the biggest star on the planet.
Yeah.
Like it just had that feeling. Same with like Stone Cold before WrestleMania 13 Survivor Series '96 versus Bret in the
Bret,
Garden.
yeah.
Right.
His
The
music hit, the
submission.
glass breaks. He comes out and you were just like, they're supposed to be booing him, but it's mixed
Yeah.
and it's electric. You can feel the belt, like, and they're like, there's something to this. Like this guy's about to be a big deal.
Well, you know, because he came up with this Austin 316 gimmick like on the fly when he was
Yeah.
being interviewed after he won King of the Ring in '96. That's just it's just crazy how shit comes on the fly. You know what I mean? And
Dude, wrestling
Austin
is
was
so
supposed to be a
crazy,
heel.
Man. He wasn't supposed to even win that.
No.
Like
Triple H
had
was.
heat, and they're like, hey, you're gonna win. And like he has that one promo, like, hey, just to let you know, you got 30 seconds. Jake
Yeah.
said this about you. Go ahead. And he just says one thing, and it's the biggest selling T-shirt ever.
Yeah.
just improvise.
That and the NWO, yes. So
Yeah.
it was originally supposed to be Triple H, right? Triple H was
Right.
supposed to win King of the Ring, but on the Madison Square Garden, the curtain call with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash when they left to WCW, so you couldn't punish Shawn Michaels because he is the face of the WWEF at the time. You can't punish Scott Hall or Kevin Nash, because they're WCW. So Triple H is the only one to punish, and he got it. And then, but damn, what comes out of that is Stone Cold. Supposed to be a heel, but more of a baby. He was on that line,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what else?
Him and Brett, man. Yeah. Every match that they wrestled was just magic.
So,
absolutely. What else you got on?
I've always been kind of fond of the Dudley Boys. I love them.
I wrestled Bully.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love how he goes to the independents here and there, right? Yeah.
He does Ring of Honor now too. Ring of Honor. I don't think he does Impact anymore. I'm not sure, but he still he trains a couple of my close acquaintances or close friends in the wrestling business.
Stone Cold. I mean, that glass popping is iconic. Can't beat it. The pop after that. I grew up. I was born in '90. Yeah. So I was obviously fond of the Monday Night Wars, like 97, 98. Goldberg, one of my favorite wrestlers at the time.
I got him.
You're just a little kid, and he comes out of that locker room, and you got the cops, doing that and strolling to the ring. I mean, it was amazing when I was a kid. I loved it, and my favorite entrance of all time, and I think one of the most hype ones is ECW One Night Stand, 2006, I believe.
One of the two,
Sandman. So coming up from the Hammerstein Ballroom, I think it was, coming up from the crowd with the beers, and he's motorboating these girls, and just he's slamming the fucking beer on his face. He's bleeding before the match and shit, and it's because that's low key the last hurrah of ECW,
right?
And the ECW, for Aaron who doesn't know, I mean, they have the most hardcore fans, of all time, and they hate WWE. They hate WWE because it's the establishment, and it's just fucking
It was ECW was counterculture.
Yeah, it was.
That's when wrestling was. It was a different time, and there was no internet.
Yeah.
I was talking about being friends with my opponent and stuff on this podcast. Back then, there was no podcast. If anybody ever said anything like that, I would have got my legs broken. You know what I mean? You're supposed to protect the business. The good guys don't hang out with the bad guys, and the bad guys don't hang out with the good guys.
Can't break kayfabe.
It's not selling for
ECW was the counterculture, man. It was like rock and roll. I used to watch Chris Candido, all those guys.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it was
hell yeah,
good times. But Sandman, I mean, whoever's listening, you go watch that. That's
a classic.
You got the crowd singing Enter Sandman, he has the kendo stick, just amazing, man. Just one of the best.
What do you got, Joe?
So my list is pretty quick. I mean, it's pretty solid. So 5 is Undertaker. I went to WrestleMania 31 at Levi's Stadium and got to saw that entrance live. It was the first WrestleMania after losing the streak. It was the first time everybody seen or heard of Taker, and so just chills, man. I'll never forget that moment. 4, this was a group that I don't know if a lot of people remember. I don't know if you remember the Oddities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a pretty sick entrance. It was almost like a Juggalo rap, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I remember that. I remember playing it on my Anthology CD.
Oh yeah.
I had Anthology too.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And then 3 is Randy Orton. I hear voices. Yeah, that's a good one. 2 is Edge, and 1 is got to be Real American Hulk Hogan. That's the best entrance music to me.
I mean, it's. Yeah.
I mean, I love
iconic.
it. I love it.
Hogan, his entrance is always he would just stand in the aisleway and you'd be like, I'm gonna slam him. He would just do something super.
Say your prayers and eat your vitamins.
I'm gonna kick your butt. Would get over the top.
Yeah.
So my best friend just had a 30th birthday party and he did it 80s themed, and I dressed up as Hulk Hogan. I got the wig. I did the yellow freaking paint for the mustache. I even got a tights, a sleeveless Hulkamania shirt.
It was embarrassing.
It was actually pretty badass.
It was not badass.
But
It was bad.
I've always wanted to be the ultimate warrior for Halloween, but for whatever reason, I'm always in the worst shape of my life around Halloween.
yeah.
Like, I want to be shredded and be the warrior with
Yeah.
the tassels hanging out.
Yeah, I liked NWO Wolfpack's entrance too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah. That was,
So
Then they got too diluted.
right.
yeah, that was the thing with well, yes, that was
The entire
ultimately the
NWO.
downfall of WCW.
Right.
The dilution.
So what do you got? What do you got?
So I'm going to go with the Ultimate Warrior. I think his entrance made him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The way he had the great music. He had frenetic energy, sprinting full force to the ring. There's no dude. Anybody who's ever like been in a wrestling ring to know how hard it is to sprint your wrestling boots all the way down, do all the way around the ring, get on the apron, start doing your pose, sprint down, shake the ropes. Right, dude. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. How do you even like? He couldn't wrestle. It's like I couldn't wrestle
Yeah.
either after doing that. You know what I mean? Like so.
I'm really
I thought
surprised
the Ultimate
Joe
Warrior had
said
an
that.
amazing entrance.
Yeah, I know.
It always like if you listen to his reactions, man, he was just as outside of Hogan. Nobody got a bigger pop.
Right.
I'm gonna agree with you on Goldberg. There was something special about that.
Yeah.
Especially we had the streak.
Oh man.
I saw Daniel Bryan's entrance when I worked as an extra for WWE. And during the Yes Movement, he had every, like, you know, in the Dunk province, it was like, 10,000 fans. He had everybody on their feet. In
Yeah,
unison.
sorry for
Like,
the
that's a pretty special thing to witness.
sorry for the interruption,
So
but
I'll
were
put
you in
that
the
one up
ring?
there.
Were you one of the
And then I'm
yes
just going to
dudes
go
in
to my
the
personal
ring?
favorites, I think. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily think it's the best entrance. But, like, I'm trying to think of who, like, I remember, like, when they come down the aisle, like, I'd really be, like, excited. Like, I think Ted DiBiase, like, as a heel with that music, and he's, like, laughing with the money and the vest.
Million
Like,
dollar man.
like, laughing. Like, I don't know. Like, he had a real... But he didn't have, like, I guess the song was pretty cool. But he didn't have, like a truly memorable, like, strut or anything. I'm trying to think of who else would be on that list. I was trying to think of a special thing. But you guys named the big ones, like Austin, The Rock. When their music hit, it was, like, a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Pop. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you? You said okay. So you mentioned you were an extra for the Daniel Bryan thing. Were you one of the people? Were you one of the guys in the ring? Like
No.
doing the
I
thingy?
wasn't even used. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
happens. You get paid to eat
Yeah.
catering, basically.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Can't fault that.
You end up getting a tryout match or whatever, like on the second day, because they did at that time they did 2 days of taping at once. So Raw was live and then SmackDown was taped on Tuesday. It would air Thursday. Now it's Friday, but you'd get before the show start. It was very intimidating. So there'd be like a handful of indie guys around the ring, and the entire WWE roster would sit at ringside and in the front row and watch you have a match.
Oh wow.
And then you'd get feedback. You know what I mean? So that was a pretty cool experience. But I basically got paid for that and eating a ton of peanut butter and jelly Crustables. I nailed. I didn't crush the match, but I crushed catering. And that's what it was all about.
That's cool.
For sure. So kind of jumping back into you getting your wrestling career going. So you trained with Spike Dudley. How did that opportunity come about? And just kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I actually got recruited to be a pro wrestler my senior year of high school right after football season.
Wow.
I was sitting in the front row. I had a tank top. I had the Y back on,
Oh yeah.
which became the gimmick.
Oh.
And they were like, hey, you have any interest in being a wrestler? I was like, yeah. I did it for like a year. Then I played baseball in college. My coach made me quit. But I got formally trained, I guess, by Spike after college when I was 24. And Spike had just retired from WWE. He was from the Providence area. I was training down in Fall River, Mass, which is kind of close to Providence. Mm-hmm. And I liked working with Spike a lot. He was like so smart. The guy, made a 20-year living in the business at 5'8", 160 pounds. Obviously he knows what he's doing in the ring. He's an incredible guy to learn from. And got on shows quick. And, I was very fortunate. I think looking back at it, there was a lot of resentment. And I would say at the time, probably jealousy, but it wasn't fair. And I think the guys now who are still around would even admit it. I was forced onto shows probably too quick, just without sounding full of myself based on the way I looked. You know what I mean? Like I had a good look.
You had the look.
24 years old. I was a handsome kid. I was jacked. I was 200 pounds with a six pack. You know what I mean? They were like, all right, put this kid on the show. We'll have him work Mike Bennett, who ended up getting signed. So it was like I was pushed on shows like out of training in 3 months. In hindsight, it would have been nice to like spend more time in training. And then once I started working, continue to train. And that was one thing that I was never good at. Is like once I got trained, I was like I learned more wrestling in the real shows than I did, wrestling at practice. But
Right.
that's how I got into it originally with Spike. He just was running the school down in Fall River.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. God bless Spike. I mean, I can't believe he made it out of wrestling with all the bumps he took at 5'8".
I think he got out pretty much. He's one of those guys who made a clean break. He's doing some sort of sales now. I think he's like doing some type of sales gig. Like, he's pretty much totally out. I saw him at a battle royal, I think 2 years ago. It was the last time I saw him. He'll show up every once in a while. He's wicked humble, great guy.
So you said
he did a clean break. He was like, I'm done.
There you go. Get out before the getting's good. You know what I mean? Get out while the getting's good.
so.
Your health.
You've gotten to wrestle. You said you wrestled Mike Bennett. You've wrestled Tommaso Ciampa. You've also wrestled Bully. Like any other big names that you've wrestled on the independent scene?
Oh yeah, Big Cass. I worked I did a whole program, a full tour with him last year. And Enzo a little bit, but I didn't actually wrestle Enzo. I've worked with Bully Ray. Dude, I could go back to the beginning and start from scratch. I think I've Tito Santana, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, wow.
Billy Gunn. Godfather was my favorite one because that was for big time wrestling. It was down at a big arena in Cape Cod. It was packed. There must have been 2,000 people there. And when Godfather's music hit, it brought me back to my childhood. It was the first time I wrestled a name. I was so jacked up when his music hit. And we ended up having like a 5-minute squash match. I got killed, but
It still works.
he's a huge guy, the Godfather. Godfather, Billy Gunn, this Vader. How can I forget Vader? Vader wanted to kick my ass for real after the match was over.
You want to kick
It's
a lot of
one of my
people's
favorite
asses
wrestling
for-
stories. I've wrestled Jerry Lawler, Matt Hardy. Who else?
You
man?
throwing out Hall of Famers now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've wrestled a lot, man. I've wrestled them all. I mean, I think, this is, without getting too personal, like I'm wrestling Enzo. It's the biggest match of my life. I'm 36. I was with my best friend from wrestling, a kid by the name of Mark Sherman. He wrestles at Chaotic Wrestling, which has produced the best stars out of New England, like Sasha Banks, like everybody who's come, Tommaso, everybody's come through there. And we were watching like 2015 stuff. And it was just like the crop of talent that I had the opportunity to wrestle. I've wrestled every guy who's came from where I came from, who was in the WWE. So
Right.
I've been blessed to have pretty good experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. That's amazing.
But I didn't get the job.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I really can't. I can't wait to watch this Enzo match, though, man.
Nah, I better not suck. I've been going to training, so we're ready. Get ready.
Fucking believe in the work you put in, bro. That's what you got to do.
It's what it's all about, man.
You know what I mean?
So
No doubts.
we've kind of touched on your wrestling career. I just kind of want to know like where the Thrill Ride character came from, and also like as it kind of started developing, there was a lot of YouTube videos. I remember watching Smash and Smoke when I was in high school. I'm like, this guy's freaking legit, man. This guy's amazing. So just kind of tell us about all that and the Thrill Ride character.
So I love telling the 1ManThrillRide story. That was my senior year of high school. And I don't usually talk about it in full detail, but everybody's so old now, who cares? I was a virgin going into my senior year of high school, even though I was a stud and everybody knew it. Yeah. Like, it was just whatever reason, like I was not comfortable around women. But because I had not played, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't play my junior year. I had to go up during football camp with all the underclassmen, the sophomores, and I had to do a talent show. It was a talent show at the end of football camp. And I did this poem, which was a self-deprecating poem about how jacked and handsome I was, yet I couldn't get laid.
That's awesome.
And at the end, I basically said I was going to lose my virginity and she'd be calling me the 1ManThrillRide. And I got a huge fucking reaction. Like,
Holy
I was the main event. I was on last. I brought the whole team down. You know what I mean? Like, so then I came up with the name, the 1ManThrillRide. And, I was a huge fan of The Rock, and The Rock was known for having a big 25-page notebook of all his one-liners and catchphrases. And I started building one of those at that time. And I incorporated them into all my injection of genetic perfection. That was when I was like 18. Like, I opened up a notebook when I was like 27. I was like, I remember this. injection of genetic. I'm using that on my next one.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then they're quoting it on Barstool. I was like, that was a good line.
Yeah.
What was it? Meat missiles or something? Like you're talking about?
Yeah,
Fucking awesome.
meat missile
dude.
certified sausage rocket.
Sausage
I'll
rocket.
Be saying that,
That's what it fucking-
I'll be saying that to Enzo. I know how the promo is going to finish.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking
I'm
awesome.
definitely dropping certified sausage rocket. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that one.
Dude,
You gotta do the head shake.
I
Oh yeah, you gotta totally bring it.
I think I might steal that injection of genetic perfection the next time bang down, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just checking my phone like we talked about before we went on the air. We're good.
You're good.
Yeah, babe. Here it is.
What you got to do?
Yeah, I just remember watching Smash and Smoke in high school, and I was like, man, this guy has it. You know what I mean?
appreciate
Like,
it. Well, I
being-
mean, it was weird because everybody liked the video that put me on the map was that alumni video. It was about baseball.
right.
And that whole story was I was doing these. I started doing the One Man Thrill Ride character at wrestling practice, and I was doing these promos, and it was like it's like an '80s character. It's an '80s promo with an attitude era edge to it. That's what the One Man Thrill Ride is. That's my whole performance. And so people were kind of like, it's okay. And then my buddy Craig, who was still my friend today in wrestling, he goes, you know what you need to do? Because he knew I had the alumni game. He goes, you need to cut a promo on your team and air it. I was like, you think? He's like, I think that'd be really funny. And I did it. And this was before, this is 2013. This is like before social media was a big thing.
Right.
We play the game. We win. First time ever. My team wins. I come back. It's like, I open my phone. It's like 650 likes. I'm like, I usually get 15.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened? And then 2 days later, I'm at work. I'm a sales guy. It was like the most important meeting of the year. I'm in my suit. I'm all stressed out. I got a meeting with all these physicians. And they're like, hey, you're on Barstool. And I'm just like, what the hell is Barstool?
Uh-huh.
And then I look and all these computer screens, and then this open office, they're all watching me on Barstool. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then all of a sudden I turn to my boss. I'm like, I got to tell him. And then I look at him, he clicks it. I come up on the screen. I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, right.
I thought I was fired, man. And then he pulled me into the office and I'll never forget. He goes, dude, I saw your video on Barstool. Fucking legendary. He's like, I'm not
Fuck
fired. He's
yeah.
like, no, keep going. I'm like, all right, good.
God.
But I thought for sure I was screwed when that happened. But
That's
those are good
dope.
times. That's pretty much the birth of the One Man Thrill Ride. And then over time, it became sort of like a tribute to Macho Man with the sunglasses, and then a tribute to the Warrior with my duster.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite guys when I was a kid. So
Hell yeah.
So I never watched the Smashing Smoke. Is it just like you did promos on there, or
No, Smash Smoke is the baseball one, right?
baseball vids.
Yeah.
So because people like the baseball video, I just decided one 4th of July to do a Smash and Smoke video.
Yeah.
It took me 10 minutes to do. I threw it up there, and that one went viral.
oh,
I was just
yeah.
shit.
okay. All I was doing was hitting soft toss, saying ridiculous shit. And I was just like, people thought that was good.
It's the character, bro. It's the
All right.
character.
I think one of my
So then
favorite
I kept doing it. I kept doing baseball videos.
one of my favorite lines that you said, you're like, oh, Gwen Stefani, no doubt. After you freaking hit it, I'm like, oh. I was like, oh yeah, that's freaking badass.
I hit the shit out of that one too.
Yeah.
That was the most recent one. Dude,
Yeah.
I was old man strength. The ball was carrying. I'm like, dude, I need to keep playing. I was at Mason Field in North Attleboro, getting underhand front toss. And I jacked. I think the one I said Gwen Stefani, I was like, did anyone film where that went? I think that was that was a home run.
Yeah.
There was no fence, but because I don't play any ball at all. So it's the only time I ever swing a bat is when I'm filming a Smash and Smoke video. It's not like I'm taking batting practice, But
Badass.
those are fun. I'll probably be doing less of them. The focus is on the pure wrestling stuff right now.
Good, man.
Yeah, which is good.
fucking
We're so excited. I wonder if is there a way, do you know, that we could watch the you and Enzo fight?
Is there a stream? Or is it taped? Oh, it's taped.
This one isn't live. The one in Poughkeepsie on August 14th will be live, but I don't know if I'm wrestling him yet.
Okay.
That one it's on pay-per-view. So, but this one I think it'll be on. I think in a few days. But what I'm trying to have happen, and this is behind the scenes stuff, I want to have it up and ready next day.
Yeah.
And I'm doing specific stuff with the production, with the entrance and stuff. Hopefully, if we can get everybody on board. So if that's the case, we'll have a I don't know if they'll be announcing, but there'll be at least a video of the match pretty quick. And I'll be putting it up. I'm going to start putting my matches on my social. If you look at my social, I got rid of all my content. It's going up on my website. I'm just putting purely wrestling stuff on there now.
Yeah, that's cool.
So people can follow that story. But my website will have all my content. It has most of it now, but
for sure.
I just don't have it on social because I think social's kind of evil.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, and that's where the cancel culture will get you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's like if I go on my website, I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I like about it.
So, we've had you on. We've talked some baseball. We talked wrestling. Hell, we even talked some football. To kind of finish it out, and I know that you said you were probably going to do this a little later, but I have it written down. I kind of wanted to see you cut a promo for Enzo. Just give us a little glimpse of, hey, we heard Enzo talking some shit about you. What's your retaliation?
Oh, man. So I don't think I can go full thrill ride right now because it's 10 o'clock at night. When I got
no, just a little glimpse.
But I will say it's going to start with how I've admired his work from afar, and we've never really had an opportunity to meet yet. For him, it's just another day in the office, another dollar, another trip on the indies, make a bunch of cash. But for me, it's my moment. It's my moment to prove that the best kept secret in this multi-billion-dollar industry of pro wrestling after tomorrow night is going to no longer be a secret. And they're going to find out that Enzo, when it comes to the promo, when it comes to the in-ring ability, when it comes to the total package, the character, you may be the best all-around professional wrestler on the planet, except for one man. And his last name's Thrill Ride. I went on the birth certificate. I got it changed, Jimmy Hellwig style, #Bananaland City. I am the one-man Thrill Ride, and allow myself to introduce you to the certified sausage rocket from the City of Champions, Boston, Massachusetts, the cream of the crop, the cock of the walk, the absolute savage that can't be stopped. 7 continents, 9 billion people in the world, and you are looking at the best unsigned talent walking planet Earth. I am number one. And Enzo, you're about to find out that you're pretty good with your mouth and with the stick, but if you want to know who's the best with the stick, how about you ask your old lady, and she'll tell you why I am the one-man thrill ride. Like an absolute savage, going for your throat. Shout out to my exes.
Yeah.
That's where the shocker comes in.
That was kind of on the fly, but that's sort of what
that was cool.
That was fucking beautiful.
That was awesome.
Well, the one-man thrill ride, James Abreu, thank you for joining us, my man. This was an amazing interview. You definitely brought that energy, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. We really appreciate it. We know it's
big,
late over there.
Thick energy. I'm trying to lean out,
Big,
though.
Thick energy.
Thick energy, baby. Yes.
And thanks for having me on, guys, and I'll get you that information with Enzo.
Yeah, let's keep in touch, man. And best of luck to you. I know you're gonna kill it, dude. And
after this, you will no longer be the best unsigned.
That's right.
That's
what I'm talking about.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell Pip your goals.
No. This is all you, brother.
For sure, man.
Hey, go get some rest, brother, and thank you for coming on. We appreciate you, all right?
Thanks for having me, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah,
right,
great
have a
to
good
meet
one, man.
you.
Go Lakers.
Yep.